Let me ask you a real quick question. Have you ever found yourself in between a rock and a hard place? Let's really be honest. Like, you had goals, you had plans, you had ambition, and it just seems as if some type of distraction came along and swiped you off the track, right? Or you use this death tool that I like to call comparison. You begin to compare your journey with somebody else's journey and live like, listen, they're further along and I'm better than them. Like, I can talk better than them, I can preach better than them, I can do this better than them, whatever it is. And you like, listen, now as I look back at hindsight, I look back over my journey, like I lost track. I got distracted. I got derailed. Now I'm trying to pick myself up, right? And I'm trying to put the pieces back together. But this momentum, building this momentum is crazy. It's difficult. If you feel like you've been in that place or you're in that place or you're headed to that place, this is the episode for you. Let's go.
Let you know, man, you are really encouraging me, motivating me, inspiring me. God is really using you to help me out, brother.
What's going on, family? You guys are so amazing. Listen. I know it's been a while. I have not been... Listen, this is the perfect episode for me to drop some jewels on you guys, right? Because I've been MIA for, matter of fact, I've been MIA for so long. YouTube sent me a message and was like, hey, listen, if you don't drop a video, you haven't dropped a video in months. If you don't drop a video, your monetization is going to be gone. So I need my coins, right? So I'm back. Like, and I had planned on coming back. It's a lot going on. I should have vlogged about all this stuff. It's a lot going on. Moving back to the 7 cities. I mean, it's just been a lot on my plate, right? Podcast, we're gonna be full of. I'm gonna just be transparent with you guys, right? I'm gonna just tell you the truth. So I'm still candidating for some churches, but I was candidating for a church, and of course you see the content, and the content I was producing, it wasn't no raunchy or no crazy stuff. I was producing quality stuff about relationships, right? Helping a lot of people out, people inboxing us. Stuff was going viral. I'm not saying that the church was a distraction, but since I was candidating for a church, I didn't want to get, you can pastor and podcast at the same time. Like, you can do that, but it's just that my focus was on trying to get this church. And I just want to drop this early transparency in the episode. Don't allow what you have been called to do to distract you or to stop you from doing something else that God has gifted you to do. Like, God didn't call me to podcast, but God has gifted me to podcast. I'm called to preach and pastor. Like, I know this, but I'm gifted in this area. Like, God has gifted me in the area of podcast interview. And I'm gonna tell you this, I'm gonna drop this on you, right? I was podcasting before podcasting was podcasting, right? So all of y'all, and listen, I know some of y'all not gonna give me my flowers, but I'm gonna give my own flowers. Before people were had the lights and all the cameras and stuff, I was already doing that. I just didn't call it a podcast at the time. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know the business. I had been interviewing people because you already know my mission is to empower the world to never give up, one conversation at a time, one interview at a time, one video at a time, to help you live life on the next level. I was interviewing some heavy hitters, right? I'm not gonna drop no names. For the folks that's been following me for real, you already know the big names that we have had on our podcast, because I don't want to miss nobody, but we've had some big names, some people that you guys, especially in the preaching world, look up to. Right? Like, I listen, I just trailblazed this industry, right? I just didn't know how to scale it. I didn't know how to stand out and make it profitable, right? So, I stopped for a while, got derailed, and that's why I'm coming to you today. I want to really help you guys get to the place where you're like, listen, I got to stay focused. And the truth of the matter is, like, let's really be honest, you can be ambidextrous, especially in ministry, meaning you can work in this ministry and you can be good in this ministry. You can pastor and podcast. You can pastor and drop an album. You can pastor, and it's not even all about pastoring. You can be an entrepreneur, right? And a pastor, or you can be an artist, a singer, whatever. You can be ambidextrous. God has called a lot of you guys to be ambidextrous in your life. God has given you major gifts in different areas, right? I know you guys a jack of all trade, masters of none, but you can be masters in a lot of areas. So I just wanted to drop these few minutes on you because the truth of the matter is oftentimes we can get discouraged. I want to deal with this first, the death tool. Right. I love to call this the death tool. Why? Because so many of us battle with this death tool. I really want to draw you in. Come a little closer and listen in, because this death tool really kills us. And it's called the death tool of comparison. So many people compare their lives with somebody else's life. And the truth of the matter is, let's really be honest. And I was looking at, it's a guy in the 757, Pastor Cedric Rouse, and I was like, wow, it's dope. Like what he's built, right? What God has allowed his hands to build, right? I've had him on a podcast multiple times. And I'm looking at his church and how the aesthetics looks amazing. The camera, everything looks amazing. But then I begin to think, and God began to remind me, like, listen, he started from somewhere that does not reflect his now. And that's what I really want to help you guys understand. Don't look at somebody's now and then look at where you're starting and try to compare the two. It's not the same. You're in chapter 1. They're already in chapter 50. They don't put their time in. And that's the danger. So many of y'all, especially in relationships, right? Especially in relationships, you look at a relationship that's been going for 40 years, 30 years, 20 years, 15 years, right? They done went through the struggle. You don't know. You're looking at like, dang, they going on vacation every year. They're doing this every year, but you don't know the sacrifices that they had to make to get to that place. Or maybe you're an entrepreneur and you're like, listen, why am I not driving an S550? You better drive your van. You better drive your hoopty that cuts off, you know what I mean, if it overheats. It is what it is. Everybody has a starting point. Don't look at it from the perspective, because I used to do this too. Look at it from perspective like, dang, I'm too old to be at this place. And I get it. I understand how you feel. But I preached a few weeks ago. And one of the things that I told the people was that just because it's a new year does not mean that new things are going to happen or that it's going to be your year of success. Because what you do in 2025 will affect what you do in 2026. Or better yet, let me phrase it like this. What you prepare for in 2025 will allow you to walk in the destiny and the greatness that God has for you in 2026. If you don't do nothing to prepare yourself in 2025, nothing will happen in 2026. So you will leave 2025 and walk into 2026 the same exact way, period. No upgrades, no change, nothing. And I think that that's such a misunderstanding of so many people. People think, okay, new year, new me, I'm popping. No, if you didn't prepare, you're not gonna pop. If you didn't prepare, you're not gonna succeed. So in order for us to get to the place where we're succeeding, we have to prepare first. And that tool, the death tool, it's crazy. Like, I get it. I understand. We look at other people and we are inspired by them. It's cool to look at people and be inspired. That's why I created my platform, to empower the world to never give up. I have inspirational people. As a matter of fact, I have some, like, for real. I know you heard it in the past, but for real, I got some dope guests that's coming on that's going to tell their testimony that's going to really illuminate your thinking. And you be like, wow, they made it through that. Look at them now. And that's the whole reason, like I said, of my platform. I wanted to bring people that are doing things at a high level or that has been through some amazing things. And you're like, yo, how did they make it through? I want to hear the details. I don't want to just hear, oh, God can do it. No, I know God can do it, but how did he do it for you? And that's what I do. But the comparison tool, it kills you every single time. Every time you begin to compare your progress, or you begin to compare what you're doing to somebody else's life or whatever, you begin to lose every single time. Why do you lose every single time? Because now, instead of looking at your race, you begin to look at their race and see how far they have made it, or even the position that they're in now. Now you try to mimic where they are, and you're only in stage 1. They're in stage 20. They've already put the sweat equity in. So that's the number one thing that I wanted to highlight to you guys. Don't use the death tool. The death tool will kill you every single time. Now, let's look at the distraction part. Oftentimes, as I told you from the beginning, not saying that the church was a distraction, but what happened was, and I'm going to tell you this, I should not have gotten off my square because there were some people that were really being encouraged by my podcast. I know something, it's crazy. Building the momentum back up is hard. I had a conversation with the guy, and at one point, it's just like my platform. My platform was popping at one time, and I stopped, and trying to build that momentum back up was hard, but I did with the podcast. I built that thing back up with consistency. Like, I was relentless. I'm posting about 40 reels, 20 reels a day. I'm just going at it, right? I began to build that momentum up. Then one video caught fire. Somebody watched it. It went crazy viral. I think the first video on TikTok went like 800,000 views. Then the rest of them start following, 200,000, 300,000, 100,000, 10,000, 5,000. It just began to pop. So building that momentum back is difficult. So I tell people this, and I was telling him, I said, listen, once you build that momentum back up, don't start. Don't stop. Don't get discouraged. Remove the distractions out of your life. I'm going to tell you the major distraction. I don't even know who you are. The major distraction in a lot of people's lives is other people. Right? It's a danger having somebody in your life that doesn't have goals, ambitions, or drive. It's a danger. Why? Because they're going to hold you to complacency. And when somebody holds you to complacency, watch this, you'll say, man, my life is much better than theirs. Then that's not a good litmus scale to test you what you have going on, right? It's not a good comparison. But you begin to look at them and say, hey, I'm doing better than them. In your head, you're not going to say it out loud, but in your head, you're going to say, I'm doing better than them. I'm cool. And you're going to stay in mediocrity. Now, what I like to tell people, it's better to be around people that's doing way better than you, right? And truth of the matter is, when you surround yourself around people that's doing way better than you, it makes you level up. It makes you step your game. Like, what? They doing what? Let me step my game up. Let me do better. Let me work harder at whatever it is that I'm doing. And I tell people, don't allow them to be a comparison. Don't compare, but allow them to be motivation for your life. So I want to tell you this. Those are the two major things. Stop using the death tool, right? Stop using, and then remove distractions out of your life. Remove the people that's not going in the same direction that you are. And I promise you, you will see a major difference in your life. Now, this is the last tool, and I'm done. I just wanted to come to you real fast. I haven't been here in a long time. I haven't been in this space, right? So I wanted to come to you just briefly, just to encourage you, just to help you out, get to that level that you need to get to. But this is the biggest thing. If you don't listen to nothing else, write a goal, right? And write a strategy. Write your goal down in detail. I want to accomplish this in 2 months. I want to accomplish this in 6. I want to accomplish this in 5. I want to accomplish this in a year, right? Write your goals down. It's nothing worse than you going to a person and you're asking, why you asking me to tell you to write down a goal? You go to them and say, hey, what do you want to do? I want to do this. And they don't have it fluently coming off their lips. Right? I need you to be fluent in what you want to accomplish in your life, right? I'm not even talking about strategy right now. I'm talking about goals. Write it down. So many people say, I want to accomplish this, and the third, but they don't write nothing down. So if you don't write it down, how do you know which direction you want to go? It leads me to that second portion. You don't have a strategy. Write your goals down, but then the strategy is, how am I going to accomplish these goals? Okay, these are my goals, my 2-month goal, my 3-month goal, my 6-month goal, my 1-year goal. Cool, no problem. Now it's time to strategize. How am I going to accomplish this stuff? Right? If you're going to be a DJ, perfect. Let me sit down at least for 30 minutes a day. Even if you can't do 30, do 15. Let me learn some new techniques. And then at the end of my 15 minutes, let me put all of the techniques that I've been practicing every single day and put them in one set. Strategize. I'm going to practice every single day until I become better. Now, once I become better, where I'm able to host a party or do a birthday party or whatever it is that I'm able to do, right? Once I do that, I'm going to reach out to somebody so they can make me a flyer. And I'm not going to sell my services. I get it. DJs are like $200, $300, $400. No, I'm going to do it for $75. $75 for 2 hours. Let's roll. Why? Because I'm getting my reps in. Those are strategies. I have a strategy to accomplish this goal, and that goal. Write down your strategy. How are you going to accomplish this? And I want to tell you this. So many of y'all do this. You get a ball of paper, you wet it, and you throw it on the wall hoping it sticks. Life doesn't work like that, guys. Life does not work like that. Without a strategy, if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. I want you to be better in 2020. Forget 2026. I want you to be better in 2025. I want you to be better now. Stop allowing distractions to hold you back, right? And I'm telling you, I'm really looking at you. I'm looking at the TV as well, talking to myself. Stop letting distractions hold you back. I'm done with distractions because I'm going to tell you this and I'm gone. This is the most damaging part that will happen. So many of y'all will allow distractions to hold you back from accomplishing that book, from writing that movie, from recording that movie, writing scripts, writing skits, recording scripts, right? Starting your podcast, starting your tour where you're speaking and motivating or preaching or trying to get a church or starting a church. Right? Or start writing your album, recording, whatever it is. What happens is hindsight will make you look back and say, man, had I did that in my 30s, I probably would be popping in my 40s. Or had I did it in my 40s, I'd probably be popping about 45, 50 years old. Had I did it in my 50s, so what happens is when you look back, hindsight will allow you to build a house on Regret Boulevard. Why? Because I wanted to do something, but I was too lazy, or I allowed some distractions to get in my way, or I allowed somebody to speak to me and say that you haven't accomplished anything or that you're not going to accomplish anything. I want to share this with you. When people begin to throw negativity your way, I need you to use that as fuel, not to make them feel bad, but I need you to make that to be your project goal to say, listen, that's not true. Because your subconscious is going to listen to that. And when you face failures, you're going to start believing what they said, even though what they said isn't true. Listen, family, I love you guys to life. I'm going to see y'all real soon. This is a space that God has called me to occupy. Let go.